that even though we just sung that song, we know that this walk is not always easy, correct? Right. We know that there are struggles, right? Right. But I want to encourage you guys because we see struggle all through the Bible. And sometimes we have like an incorrect perception of what we're seeing. Like we'll call out to God and be like, God, where are you? You didn't come right now. And because we see something in the Bible, we'll be like, yo, he called him and God just came and did this right then. But we don't understand that if you have to go into a whole other chapter, that next chapter can be like 30 years, 40 years, right? We see Joseph, right? He has the vision, he has the dream, God places that in him. And then he's walking through his life and all of a sudden he gets thrown in a pit. And he's like, yo, what is it? But you showed me that I was going to be this and I was going to be that. Then he gets sold into slavery, right? And then he ends up finding no, matter of fact, then he ends up going to jail, right? So it's like bad stuff just keeps on happening to Joseph. But that vision ends up coming to pass. But he had to endure to the end. The same way that Jesus tells us to endure to the end, And I believe, if I'm not wrong, it was either like 17 to 23 years but between the dream or the vision and it coming to pass. How many of us have waited that long for anything that we've asked God for, right? So we got to be willing to be patient and allow God, or you don't have to allow him anything, but he's going to work in his own timing, and we have to be submitted to that, right?
Perfect time.
We see examples like with the three Hebrew boys, right? We see them go into the fiery furnace, and I can imagine, because they have faith, they like, yo, God's going to deliver us. But I can imagine them walking into that furnace and like, yo, any minute now, I'm telling you, because God ain't gonna let us get up in this fire. And they, I'm sure they waiting for him, and guess what? He doesn't come, and they end up in that fire. But God showed up in his timing. But there's a little period where you can't doubt and you can't waver in between that last minute before you go into that fire, where you can turn around and bow to the enemy like they wanted him to do. Or what did the three boys do? They go in there, God is with them in the fire, right? When you see Jesus with the disciples, God does not go and block the storm from coming. He goes into the storm with them, right? When we see Paul and Barnabas, they're walking and minding their business right there, about to go to Asia Minor. And then the Holy Spirit's like, no, don't go here, don't go to Asia Minor, I want you to go there. They're like, okay. They listen to the Holy Spirit. They was obedient, right? They walking. Here comes this fortune teller lady sweating them behind them, messing with them, and they turn around, they cast a demon out of her. That's another good thing. They was obedient, then they cast a demon out of a woman.